On November 17th, the CBI or Central Bureau of Investigation arrested an official of the Border Security Force. For what, you ask? For cattle smuggling. Yes, this is the same CBI which was investigating the Sushant Singh Rajput drug/murder/suicide/nepotism/black magic case, as well as the Hathras gang rape case. It was also the same CBI we saw being scammed in the movie Special 26.
एक बात हमेशा याद रखना रणवीर सिंह, असली पावर दिल में होती है.
Random fun fact, there were similar attempts of fake raids by people pretending to be CBI after being inspired by the movie. Kafi special. Most recently, the CBI has been in the news for a different and more profound reason though. Several state governments withdrew their consent for the CBI to investigate in those states. I call this profound because it hasn't happened before on such a large scale, and this has now ended up exposing major fault lines in our internal security setup. We need to talk about the CBI. What is the Central Bureau of Investigation? What is it supposed to do? How is it different from state police? And what is this whole deal with consent withdrawal? Are these anti-national state governments refusing to trust Modi ji? Why? Anyway, let's try to figure out all of this and get right into it. Let's start with a wee bit of history. The CBI is a central investigating agency which comes under the Union Home Ministry. It was called the Delhi Special Police Establishment till its name was changed in 1963. It has different divisions like anti-corruption, special crimes, economic offences, etc. While its original mandate was restricted to dealing with corruption cases, many offences were added later to its scope of work to essentially make the CBI as effective as the state police, sometimes even more. So how is the police any different? To understand that, you first need to understand three lists: union list, state list and concurrent list. You see, our government is not one government but many governments which operate at different levels. There is the central government, and then your state will have a different state government. The jobs which these two governments are supposed to do are clearly divided in the 7th schedule of our constitution. The union list contains things which the parliament can make laws on, like defense, external affairs, currency management, railways, stock exchange, etc. The state list has things which the state assemblies can make laws on, like agriculture, public health, sale of booze, tolls, fisheries, law and order, etc. The concurrent list has a list of items according to which the parliament and state assemblies can both make laws, like marriage, drugs, charities, inland waterways, electricity, newspapers, education, etc. This is done because A, India is diverse AF and central government making laws on everything won't make sense, and B, because some things are better handled at a local level rather than disturbing the busy schedule of the busiest Prime Minister in the universe and his cabinet. Now, public order as well as police are subjects in the state list, which come under the state governments. Except union territories like Delhi and Puducherry, all police departments report to the state, with one big exception: the CBI. There is an entry in the union list which allows the parliament to make laws on a Central Bureau of Intelligence and Investigation. When some members of the Constituent Assembly raised objections about the investigation part, Dr. Ambedkar responded to it. He said that this bureau will basically collect all information with regard to any kind of crime and supply it to the state police to help them do their job better. He also clarified that the investigation is not the same as what police do under the criminal procedure laws, but it was general inquiry for the purpose of finding out what is going on. So, in toto, 70 years ago, an agency like the CBI was supposed to be more about the coordination between police of different states and to help them out, and not actually investigate offences. Essentially, not what the CBI does today. But having said that, there are reasons why a central agency to investigate offences is necessary. There are crimes which are committed across borders of different states and police are bound by their jurisdiction. Police need to follow a lengthy procedure to conduct an investigation outside their own state, but criminals don't really play by those rules. There are also instances where an investigation by the state police is compromised. I mean, our police might be competent enough to investigate crimes, but sometimes vested interests or political motivations may lead to botched up investigations. But just because something has use does not mean it cannot be misused. For example, UAPA, that kind of stuff. That has precisely been the problem with the CBI, misuse. And this is not restricted to one government. The allegation of misuse has been against the Modi government and by Modi ji against previous UPA government. CBI today is basically used as a big bully. Because of political motivations, CBI will focus on some investigations, mainly where opposition leaders are involved, and chill out when it comes to cases where people close to the central government are involved. For example, under the UPA government, the CBI closed a case of disproportionate assets against Vincent George, a personal secretary of Sonia Gandhi. Under the present government, the CBI has been very slow in the corruption investigation of Mukul Roy, that is after he joined BJP from the TMC. And there are many more such examples over the years. You might think this is just a coincidence, but the misuse is so rampant that even a former joint director of the CBI said, the sad reality is that there has been a history of governments using the CBI. Every government misuses the CBI. It got so bad that in 2013, during a hearing of the coal allocation scam, the Supreme Court called the CBI a caged parrot, literally a tota which repeats what its master tells it to. So this popat has no option but to do this kind of crap.
This one.
This brings us to the state governments withdrawing consent to the CBI. You see, since the CBI is a central agency, according to the law, it requires explicit permissions from state governments to investigate crimes in those states. The opposition has always called out the misuse of the CBI against those not favorable to the government. But recently, many states, mainly where the opposition parties are in power, have withdrawn this permission required by CBI to come into their states and investigate crimes. This has never happened on such a large scale. This is like you blocking your ex on WhatsApp and forcing them to get to you through 20 friends. Then you'll unblock them for 10 minutes, curse at them, and then block them again. But is the CBI all that bad and useless? Not really, because when there are really big and complex cases, they are known to do an efficient job too. Such as the Nithari killings or the Satyam scam, the CBI was able to investigate and solve it. And the CBI is really needed when the people in the state government have a stake in the outcome of the case, or when the state police fail to investigate properly. Successful investigation of cases reinforces the confidence that people have in the criminal justice system. However, whenever there are political undertones to cases, the CBI somehow fails to prove that it is effective. It is true that state police is also misused, and it is precisely why there are checks and balances. The judiciary can order CBI investigations in some cases without the consent of the states. But despite that, there is a chance that the CBI might be used to achieve political ends, and that needs to change somehow. Former Home Secretary Madhav Godbole has suggested a comprehensive list of reforms. I will leave a link to that article below. In broad strokes, here are a few ways to fix the CBI. Number 1, decentralize. CBI should have effective chapters in each state which can initiate cases and can involve the Central India chapter in it if required. Number 2, Board of PM and CMs. A rotating board containing the Prime Minister and Chief Ministers of states can be formed, which gives consent for the CBI to investigate. Number 3, restriction of mandate. The CBI would be allowed to investigate only in matters involving corruption and major criminal cases, like a serial killing case or a gang running rampant. Number 4, interstate coordination. The primary reason for use of CBI should be restricted to interstate coordination between different police departments. Number 5, accountability. The CBI should come under the RTI, and regular social audits must be conducted about what the organization is up to. Reports should be made public. Number 6, fixed tenure of directors. The appointment of the director should be done by a committee of the Prime Minister, the Chief Justice, the Leader of Opposition, and the Lokpal. Their tenure should be fixed to 3 years, and they should be barred from taking any other job in government after retirement. We need investigation agencies to be independent for them to do their job well, away from all the political nonsense happening around them. So next time you read something about the CBI, keep in mind that it is possible to reform this extremely useful but misused organization. Just that it's not happening because our power-hungry politicians would rather have a caged parrot than a free one wearing a cape and fighting crime. Hi guys, thank you so much for watching my explainer videos. I know a lot of you are finding them useful and I really read your comments, literally all of them, obsessively. If you think that I should do explainer videos on some topic that you want me to do it on, please leave it in the comments below, or you can write to me on contact@newslaundry.com. Also, if you don't want the media to be a caged parrot like the CBI, you can subscribe to newslaundry.com by going to our website and supporting my work, supporting our work. News Laundry does a lot of things other than videos. It does podcast, which you can check out on your favorite podcast platforms and on our website. And we also do ground reports. You should check out our ground reports definitely. We covered the Bihar elections, we covered the Hathras gang rape case, we covered Lakhimpur crime cases, and we are doing a lot more. So support our work, support my work, support independent media, and just become a parrot that can fly freely and do whatever it wants. Yeah, I guess. Thanks for watching.